Imagine being stuck in a game and all the instructions are in a different language that only you seem not to understand. Everyone else is getting it done so easily, but you are stuck just even on the tutorial. Suddenly, it's not even your own frustrations you're worrying about. Now other people are getting angry with you. Why can't you do this simple thing? It's so easy for me. What's wrong with you? There's certain actions you gotta take in order to play the game right. You gotta know what to wear, when to laugh, when to cry, how to comfort, down to how you should eat. Every action needs to be the correct one to stay on the route in order to get your happy ending. This is what the beginning of my life felt like for the most part, and this is where I wish someone would have told me about autism. And why the hell am I writing a video about autism when my channel mostly focuses on trans topics? That's because I can. And I will. Credentials! What credentials do I have? I do not have a behavioral science degree. I will not pretend like I do. I am not a BCBA or a behavior analyst of any sort. My personal experience with autism is I was a behavior tech or an RBT for about 3 years with kids from the ages of 2 to 8 who have autism, ADHD, autism and ADHD, Asperger's syndrome, verbal, nonverbal, uses devices, does not uses devices, bending board tablets, boys, girls, different ages, mostly boys. We have to work on that society. I've regretfully worked in some places whose philosophies when it comes to treatment I cannot morally agree with. I've also met some awesome people in this field who are doing their best to stay up with the latest behavioral science research and are really trying to make a difference when it comes to what ABA is. Way past from what it was. Which, if y'all don't know, basically the guy who made gay conversion therapy also made ABA therapy. Yeah, that's not a good selling point whenever you're trying to tell someone that ABA is not bad. It was, and in a lot of places it's still. Whether I believe ABA is good or not is a very detailed answer, and I promise I will make a video about it later. Short answer for right now. That's my answer. But I'm not a doctor, but I definitely feel like I know just a little bit more than the average person probably watching this YouTube video. Otome games, or just Japanese dating sims, were my obsession when I was younger. It was the Shall We Date, or if you're a really old fan, there was a company called Grease that put up the best mobile games that patched in English. I, for the most part, played mobile games. I played a few games on the PC. I am now currently collecting old Otome games as a hobby. Some of the few bigger Otome games you might know include Mystic Messenger, which is actually a Korean dating sim, which I think really blew up like the dating sim market. That's not this video. That's not this video. You also have, you know, Arcane. People love Arcane. I know a lot of people got into Dream Daddy when Dream Daddy came. I personally love Obeme, which is one that's getting more traction now. I freaking love that game. I'm Leviathan biased. And you know, these games are the only thing we had before you could flirt with your personalized AI robot, you nasty fucks. You had visual novels with different choices and different routes, and the different routes would lead you to either a good ending, which probably involved getting married and kissing your favorite guy or gal or non-binary pal in the game, or at worst, being forced to be the kitten of a rich man, which for some of you is the happy ending. But no judgment here. I was 13 when I told my sister this, and I vividly remember saying this to her. I said, whenever I talk to people, it feels like I'm playing an Otome game. Because it feels like I see the options pop up and I have to decide which one would be the best one to just end this conversation quickly and not to cause a disturbance. It might not have been the thing I wanted to say or the thing I felt was right or true or honest to me, but it was the one I knew from past experiences would get me the results I wanted. And usually that result was to be left alone. And in a way, dating sims kind of helped me because they taught me a lot about social scripts. You would have to guess which option the character would like in order for you to romantically advance with them. But unlike in dating sims in real life, there is no walkthroughs. Someone hasn't already played the game and written down every step of what you should say in order to get what you want. There is no turning off your phone and just taking a break. This is constant interaction with people every day. I basically gamified all of my interactions with everyone, except in real life there's no hearts or eggplants bursting out of people whenever they like something you say. Well, there might be some eggplants bursting out of people if they really like what you said, but I'm getting out of the point. I wish there was like a likeness bar with people. That'd be so helpful if I just knew how much you hated me or how much, you know, you liked me, so we were close friends or not. Maybe Apple will install that in their new Apple glasses sometime soon, who knows. In most of these games, you can also buy clothes that will increase your infection with some people. If you understand what the person you like is interested in, you could buy them gifts in order to raise their sociability. If they're a nerd and maybe they're always hanging out in the library, you can raise their chances of ending up being with them. If you also frequent the library, there's more chances for you to bump into them and converse. I don't think this is too far from how you can actually increase your likability of people. For example, you make a friend at work. Why? Because you're always at work with them. You're always gonna be there. You're always talking to them. You make a friend at college. Why? Because they're always there and you're always there. Maybe you both hate this goddamn class because the professor's annoying. That's something you have in common. Maybe you see that they have a little Squirtle pin on their bag, so next time you see them, you buy them another little freaking Squirtle keychain and hope that it's not too creepy that you bought them a gift. And it goes beyond being quiet and it goes beyond being shy. And I promise you this, I'm not just a little shy. In a recommendation letter my principal wrote for me my senior year, he said, and I quote, "Sochi is a great student, although at times can be a little quiet and reserved. They always speak up when they have to." Your principal, and this principal, he knew me, by the way. He knew me for like 7 years of my life. He wasn't just my high school principal, he was also my junior and middle school principal. That's like, what, 8 years of my life was like, yeah, they're good, but they just don't talk. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I love that. Well, the way socializing comes so easy to people is just so foreign to me. It's like, what? You can just go up to someone and strike a conversation so easily and then not feel awkward or forced at all. You are insane. And get the f away from me. And I can't stress how bad it was in the past. I remember watching this one YouTube channel. If it's still a thing, I'm gonna lose my mind. No hate to this creator, but it was a YouTube channel called Charisma on Command, and this white guy would basically break down why people like celebrities. He'd be like, oh, people like Chris Hemsworth because he leans in whenever he speaks to someone, and he only tells these kinds of jokes, and he parts his hair this certain way. And I was like, okay, part hair this certain way, lean in when I speak to someone, never cross legs, never cross arms when speaking to someone. Just learning general like body language and communication things, because I was determined to be able to speak with people and to socialize normally, and I did it in the most unnatural way possible, in the most cringiest, try-hard way possible. I swear, guys, I would used to listen to like those there were like these guys and they'd be like, if you want to be an attractive woman, wear these colors, wear this lipstick color. Men don't like women who wear this certain shade of lips. You must sit like this. You must do this. You must hire your voice to this registration that appeals to a frequency in the male mind and will tickle his enigma bits and make him Yes, I had a pick-me face. Leave me alone. I was grown. I was not like other girls because I'm not a girl. As I am now, I'm trying to find a good balance of, you know, how to make someone comfortable, but also not risking my own comfortability. Trying to find good boundaries for myself. It sounds kind of dumb, but I think the dating sims actually helped a little. I grasped learning what the right way to respond should be for desired outcomes. Maybe it wasn't the choice I wanted to pick or the one I felt was true to myself, but it was the correct one? I mean, social cues to this day fly out whoosh, right through my head a lot. And I am a pretty smart person when it comes to general book smarts. But I would often get laughed at a lot because I wouldn't understand situations where I couldn't read a room correctly. I mean, I did get better with time. Although I could dish it out whenever someone was sarcastic to me, it went over my head. I find often other people have to tell me when someone's being rude to me because I don't understand when they are. I'm trying to see if anyone else had anything to say about this on the internet, and I looked on Google. I'm like, dating sims, autism, let's see if anything pops up. Hopefully it does, and I found absolutely nothing. Nothing. Except this one Reddit post. This one Reddit post here, written by, your mom! Okay, wait. This one Reddit post by Comprehensive T. Here's a discussion. Dating simulations help me with making relationships. And they go on to say, hi, I don't know how to write this. I have ongoing research of autism. I try to tell my nurse that my way of talking with people and my way of small talk comes from dating sims. I have played dating games since I had access to the internet and gaming sites. I am 25 years old, so at least for 15-17 years. I don't speak much when I meet someone. I just gather all information about their interests and then later talk about them and or gift them with said interest. Because that's how it works in the games, and I've noticed that it works in real life too. And the ways those characters react to said gifts and talking options, it's been useful to try and imitate those. Am I weird? Is it normal to use game mechanics for real life? Finally, I found a post about this. So I thought, finally, I found someone who shared the same thought as I did. So immediately, I tried to message them. And I wrote, Hi, my name is Otome. I read your post from a year ago on how dating sims helped you learn social scripts. I have been looking everywhere on the internet for people who have experienced this. I did too. I thought I was the only one, but every time I talked to someone, it felt like I could see the options pop up and I had to choose the best one in order to fill this likability bar I had in my head. It felt like I wasn't even responding how I wanted to, but what I knew would make the conversation move forward. I could also feel every time I made the wrong choice. I'm making a YouTube video on the subject. I was wondering if you had any more thoughts on the subjects you would like to share. I noticed a lot of autistic people also love playing The Sims. Chapter 2, The Sims. I'm researching for this dating otome game / autism video. I could not find a lot of people talking about dating sims or otome games, but I did find article after article after article about people saying people who have autism love playing The Sims, and I was like, what? The Sims. I haven't heard that name in a long while. The last time I heard of The Sims, I was a 12-year-old bisexual woman who only got The Sims so I could make two women do the nasties in The Sims. So this is all I had, and then I realized, well, dating Sims and the actual Sims, the game, aren't all that different. You have objectives that you have to do every day. You get to talk to other Sims and you have different options of how you want to talk to them, and different options lead to different kinds of relationships within the Sims. You have little screens that pop up that tell you how much a character likes you or how much they do not like you. They will immediately emote whatever they are feeling. So clearly, after seeing a lot of autistic people like to play this game, I myself decided to give it a shot. Boom, I downloaded it. First thing I did was get way too overwhelmed because there was way too much happening at once. I love the first part of customizing your own character, because years of dress-up princess games have changed my brain chemically to just loving customizing a little avatar character, and you know, also made me gay. I'm not a big video game person in general unless they're Otome games, so a lot of the mechanics I was learning for the first time, and honestly I was probably way more stressed than I should have been. I was at a local library and there was a group of teenage girls behind me whispering and gossiping, and I was getting re-traumatized from all of my school experiences. While researching, I stumbled upon this PowerPoint based on this research paper, and in a summary I'll give you this. They tested a bunch of neurodivergent people and asked them basically if they think creating themselves in The Sims had helped them with their everyday life. And not a lot of people put yes. A lot of people put maybe, but no one generally put no. When they recreated themselves in The Sims, they were able to kind of put themselves in a life they wished they had. And The Sims is really great in the fact that it will tell you when you are hungry, when you need to use the restroom, when you want to be creative. It has a schedule for you. There is a calendar in The Sims, so you know what's going on constantly, and you will always be aware of other people's mood because it pops up on the screen. You will always be aware of your mood because it pops up in the screen. From handling a job to your social life, there are tools there to help you organize the whole thing. And I can see why that would help people. It's all in a controlled environment. A world you make for yourself. Which I can see why that's a great de-stressor for a lot of people who are more neurodivergent. Because this world is not a controlled space and is often not very friendly to the neurodivergent mind. So of course, in a world you create, you can feel a lot more calm because you know what's going to happen. You know your routine, you know what you want, and you know yourself. I will leave the PowerPoint in the description below. I know self-diagnosis is a point of conversation a lot, especially on the interwebs right now, whether it should be a thing, whether it should not be a thing, the benefits of it, the negatives of it, if there really is negatives to it. Chapter 3, my experiences with autism and self-diagnosis. I told y'all that I worked as a registered behavior technician for about 3 years. I took a test basically kind of saying, hey, this person knows the basis of ABA, whatever. And as I was studying for this test, profusely might I say studying for this test, the symptoms just aligned with a lot of the things I was feeling. So it wasn't just TikToks, people saying, if you don't like your food touching, you have autism. It was also me seeing a bunch of other people with autism and seeing what they're doing usually as children and being like, that is hilarious. I used to do that exact same thing. Wow. My mother had this joke with me that I was a runaway baby because I did not want to stand still and I would just constantly run away. And she took me to the doctor to go get checked because she said something's wrong, and the doctor said they'll grow out of it. So I did get tested when I was younger. I think I was 5 when I got tested. But when I was 5 years old, it was 2008 when I got tested. And the behavioral science research was not where it should have been. It is where it was. And I'm not saying it's necessarily where it should be now. I'm saying it definitely got better. But I know this for a fact. I worked with a lot more boys than I ever did girls. I've worked with over 50 kids, and I promise you, 3 of them were colored, 2 of them were boys, 1 was a black girl adopted by white parents. We are not diagnosing women of color correctly. Of course the doctor said I would grow out of it. I would make my mother pour my cereal separate from my milk because I hated the taste of soggy cereal. Side note, I was really happy when I saw that in the movie Get Out, where the main white girl just doesn't like her cereal with her milk, so she has them separately. I thought, oh my god, that's so awesome, because like I do that too. I feel so seen. Then she ended up being a murderous racist, so I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna start trying to mix my cereal. I know I definitely do tick, and before I even thought about autism, I thought I had Tourette's, and I brought it up to my mother. I'm like, Mother, I think I have tics, and she said, what are you, a dog? And I said, I regret ever talking to you. And I thought about it for these years that I've been working as an RBT, thinking, I think you're just self-diagnosing and you're crazy. Well, I did get tested as a child. I was not diagnosed. Do you know how hard it is to get an autism diagnosis as an adult? One night, I was in my bedroom and I had a very particular, bad, very good, no good, miserable day. I remembered my favorite short film that I used to love watching every night when I was younger, from this YouTube channel called Omeletto Productions, which would host short films. The title of it being A Young Boy is Born with Facial Expressions that are the opposite of what he is feeling. Or Eggplant, for short. And I apologize for my mispronunciation. It was created by Young Shi. In the short film, there's this young boy named Durian, and he is talking to this photographer, who we later find out is older him, about how his entire life, his facial expressions always showed the opposite of what he was showing. We see him in his youth, struggling to communicate with others and being ostracized by his peers for not being able to emote correctly. We see him grow up and start to get better about learning how he should be emoting. We see him literally put fake tears on his eyes for what should be a moment where he expresses sentiment. And we see him get better at what one could argue is masking. And he gets older and he learns to do it well and great, and he becomes more socially accepted. And then we see the older version of him, who is portrayed as a photographer, loses this younger version of himself. And he is searching for him rapidly, but he can't find him throughout the crowd of people, because now he is just like everyone else. He loses his sense of self. Literally, he loses himself. And it took me until 2 days ago to realize his name is durian, because it is a fruit that a lot of people don't tend to like the smell of and repels a lot of people, but the taste is amazing. It took me years to realize why this was one of my favorite short films ever, and why it was such a comfort, and why I related to this character so much. It took me years, after watching this, years, and actually becoming a behavior therapist, behavior tech, to even consider the fact that I could be neurodivergent. In a weird way, I learned to help myself because there wasn't a doctor who caught it early enough to offer any help. I don't honestly think I would have wanted ABA in the year 2008. No, thank you. Thank you for listening to this video. It is actually taking a toll on me mentally. Like, I feel my body tired because I feel like there was just so much to say, and there's so much more to say about this topic. I do promise a video where I will talk about my experiences as an RBT more. Check out my other videos. I have one here that's talking about how reading Boy Love made me trans. If you have anything you want to add on to what I said, please leave it there, because I want to hear what you have to say. Thank you for watching. Later, stranger.